Hello. Hola. Bonjour. I'm Lexi, and I'm so excited to be back with another video for my pretties. So, I have to say, I just finished recording a presentation that's due soon. So, hopefully, my voice is not too low, okay? I feel like it's about to go out. But I just want to talk about how when you're pretty and thin, you're automatically more important. And this can come with some pros and this can come with some cons. But let me explain, right? So, when you are pretty, you're already considered super rare. Not a lot of people are born pretty, and not a lot of people can afford to make themselves pretty. So, when someone comes across an individual that they find beautiful, gorgeous, attractive, compelling, automatically, okay, their eyes are going to be on you and they're going to be more focused on you. They're going to overlook everyone else and they're going to center their attention on you, right? So, the good thing is that let's say you want to get recognized because you want to be famous. Let's say you want to build a social media account. Like for me, it's worked in my favor. Even though I prefer to do more flexible content, there's a reason why my first videos, I made a point to show my face, and I always make it a point to show myself in my profile picture, right? People pay attention to you more when you're pretty. And then when you're pretty and you work in the beauty industry, or let's say you work in the skincare industry, the hair care industry, people are more inclined to take your advice over another, cosmetologist, esthetician, sales associate, right? If you're a model, you're super pretty, which models technically are known for being pretty, but let's say you're like a mega pretty model, right? You're going to be more likely to get that casting. And honestly, never mind. I've been to some interesting castings, not as a model, but as someone who's doing the booking. Anyways, so, and that's another thing, right? I posted about this before. So I actually got hired with no experience in the fashion industry to help recruit models. And not like in a scammy, salesy way, but like we were actually connecting them to legit bookings. And I wouldn't even say recruit because they were coming into our agency. It was more so I was screening them and seeing if they were really a good candidate, right? And then connecting them with bookings. So the only reason why I got the opportunity is she told this to me, the lady who hired me. She said, "You have the look of the agency. That's it. That's all." Not because of my experience, because I had none. She was hiring based off of merit. She definitely wouldn't have hired me, but because she liked my look. So having that advantage when you're pretty can put money in your pockets, can get you around the right people, right? On the flip side, people become way more sensitive to your feedback. I talk about it all the time on all my channels, how people are always crashing out over me. Always, always, always. And the reason why I have so much influence is because I'm pretty and I'm thin, right? No one cares what an obese ogre is saying to them unless they're simply trying to make a spectacle of them. Unless they're genuinely just appalled by the audacity. 9 times out of 10, people don't care what an obese ogre has to say. And even if they're not obese, if you're not that attractive to me and you're talking shit, I'm going to genuinely laugh at you. I'm going to laugh. Whereas if someone pretty said something, at least when I was younger, I would have to think twice. I still might, if they're hecka bad, I might be like, oh, okay, well, let me just make sure my eyeliner isn't too thick today. Because sometimes it could be constructive feedback that might help. But, you know, even for me, like, if I don't really view you as that attractive, I don't care what you say. I'll probably laugh. I might screenshot post you, but you're not important. Whereas if you're freaking like, I don't even know. I don't pay attention to celebrities like that. Like, is it Adriana Lima, right? She's super pretty. And you're like, oh my God, that foundation is the wrong shade. I'm going to go look in the mirror and see, is she just playing with me or is the foundation the wrong shade? Whereas if an obese ogre says it, I'm just going to be looking at her like, of course you're mad. Or if someone who's unattractive says it, of course you're mad, right? So you're more important. And it may not be politically correct, but people care more about what you say. You have more visibility. Now, again, on the flip side, people are more likely to crash out over you. They're more likely to throw temper tantrums over what you say. I experience this all the time. People will create total like delusions and they'll like create these fantasies over you, you know? I talk about how men will do this all the time. I have one lady that I put some distance between me and her because her behavior was strange. And she tried convincing herself that I'm jealous, right? But all I could say is that she has every feature I'm glad I do not have, you know? And it's like a certain level of delusion and fantasy people will build up in order to either get with the pretty girl or try and one up the pretty girl. Another one is like when people go to celebrity comments and say, I can't wait till you get your karma. I can't wait till he breaks your heart. I can't wait till he cheats on you, right? Or when like a athlete gets with a lady and they're like, he's going to cheat on you. I cannot wait. It's because it's like they can't wait to have that fantasy they built up over the pretty and thin girl play out in real life. So sometimes it can get a little strange, right? People feel more incentivized to bother you or attack you, which is why I have no problem going hard on bullies. The most recent ones I've had, they were actually begging for my attention, so I refused to give it to them on this channel. But I will say is that in the recent attempts people have made to try and make me out to be this terrible person, they're speaking about how my complexion is lighter than theirs and all these different things, right? Basically letting me know that, oh my God, I have certain traits that they feel makes me attractive and it bothers them that they don't have it. And they've been fighting and crashing out, literally typing. It's not, I'm guessing, they're articulating it to me. They're crashing out, aiming to get my attention, aiming to project these weird fantasies onto me or other people. And this is just a common experience when you're pretty and thin. People get really emotionally dysregulated over you. And sometimes you can use it to your benefit. And sometimes it's a nuisance. People are annoying. They're a pain in your ass. Like, go away. You're disgusting. And all this happens because you're automatically deemed more important when you're pretty and when you're thin, especially. When you're just thin, you still have this. When you're just pretty, you still have this. But when you're both, it becomes intensified. It's much more intense. So, to my pretties, what you can do is a couple of different things. Because I'm not here to rant. We're going to talk a little bit about some solutions, right? First of all, assess how safe you are in any of these situations. Okay. Assess your safety. Because dealing with limerence and jealousy and delusions, it can get dangerous. Friends, family, coworkers, strangers, it does not matter. So no matter what, just do a quick safety assessment. You're safe? Good. Then do almost like a list, whether it's a mental checklist or you're pulling out your phone or you're writing it down. Okay, what would be the pros and cons of me dealing with this person who thinks that I'm super pretty? What will be the pros and cons of dealing with this person who feels a bit more attached to me? And a lot of people will jump to romance, but no, a lot of times it includes business. Being pretty and thin in the workplace is considered more profitable for women than getting a master's degree. And I say this as a grad student myself. Okay, I knew about that before I decided to go into grad school. But, anyways, I say that to say, don't just assume I'm talking about someone being attached to you because you're pretty in regards to love, because there will be friends who are attached to you because you're pretty, because they can get some of that pretty privilege. And so you have to look, okay, am I safer on this person? You think you're safe? Great, cool. So then do I get anything by being associated with this person who's only attached to me or who's fixated on me because I'm pretty and thin and I boost their social status? You know, does she have any opportunities for me? Is this person really genuinely a good friend? Does this person do anything for me? Or are they just an attachment that's looking to take away from my pretty privilege? Because if so, leave, get rid of them, put a boundary up. But if there's some benefit, then understand what that benefit is and immerse yourself further into that situation, understanding that at the end of the day, you have an agreement. They're benefiting off you being pretty and thin. They're benefiting off your discipline to do your skincare, your hair care, to make the money so you can afford all the products, your nail care, your healthy diet, your exercise, all that time, money, energy, investment, equipment, foods, dietitians, trainers. If you do all that, they're benefiting off that. So you need to remind yourself, okay, so then what's your benefit? Almost like a contract. And that will help you in situations where people become fixated on you. Because first, you can do your safety assessment. A lot of times, I notice pretty and thin women, including myself sometimes, I've done this recently, will ignore red flags, try to give someone the benefit of the doubt, try to feel like you're being paranoid or crazy, right? So, always, that's why I say just do the safety assessment. Am I mentally, emotionally, and physically safe here? Yes? Okay. Then you could really get logical with yourself about how you're benefiting these people and how they need to benefit you, because it's not fair if they get to reap the rewards of you being pretty, you being thin, and you being disciplined, and you having resources, but you don't get anything back. So whether it's making sure that you're being compensated fairly for, being the face of the company, even though your job is just supposed to be the admin or back office admin, I should say, but they want you to go run the booths at a trade show just because you look the best, make sure you're getting compensated properly. Or whether it's the friend who only wants to be your friend because you're thin and pretty and they're not thin and pretty, so they want to try and leech off you. If they're not doing anything for you, then cut them off. So everything needs to be reciprocal. I'm gonna call it reciprocal tax. If you know about the controversy that's been going on, then you know, okay, you need to establish reciprocal tax around the borders of you, the borders of your mind, the borders of your body, the borders of your bank account. Because I've noticed a lot of people will assume pretty and thin women have more money than them. I literally dated a guy. He was born in a lower socioeconomic status than me. He was like 15 years older than me. Don't recommend it for me. Some girls it works, me, not so much. And he had already built up to having, net worth and liquid funds are different, you guys, but over $1 million in his net worth, too, really. But what still was like always accusing me of hiding all this money and secretly being rich. And I'm looking at this dude like, what are you talking about? You're like 15 years my senior. I barely work. Like, I only work part time so I can like afford my bills and savings and stuff like that. I don't work full time. Like, I'm in school. What are you talking about? I'm not doing bad, but I'm not like hiding millions of dollars. And it was always boiling down to, I know you have some man sending you money. I know there are all these rich men want you. Where are you hiding the money? What? All right, I gotta go. This isn't gonna work. And there's a girl who I tried being friends with, and she was always like, oh, let's buy this, buy this, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, buy that, buy this. And I'm looking at this bitch like, why do you keep, like, this isn't even my style. This is your style. Like, you're just trying to spend my money. And she's like, yeah, I am, because it will look better on you. And you always have more money, I'm sure, anyways. And I'm looking at this bitch like, yeah, I do have more money than you. But if you see the way I carry myself, like, I hate wearing jeans, but I just wear like basic casual house dresses. If I'm going out, I'll wear like a cute casual dress and just leave it at that. Nothing super fancy. I'm talking like an oversized sweater, maybe over the dress if it's cold or something like that. Like just regular clothes, right? Um, I don't even like to use like purses unless I'm going out. Like if I could put it in my pocket, good. you know? So it's not like I'm flashing money. It's not like she knows my finances. It's not like I'm always dripped down in designer. I keep my designer hidden. So it's not like people know if it's there because it's completely hidden when people come over, right? So it's just like, okay, so you're just assuming I have all this money, even though I haven't given you any indication of having all this money. And I've come to realize as I've gotten older that a lot of people associate being pretty and thin with money. And it makes sense because that's why a lot of wealthy men prefer pretty and thin. And that's why, being thin is associated with having a higher socioeconomic status. So when women are trying to date their way out of poverty, in most societies, of course, there's exceptions to the rule, but we don't live by the exception over here. In most societies, a woman prioritizing being thin and pretty, but especially thin for some, it comes before being pretty. People overlook, your face. They can afford the surgery, but the thinness, that's different, you know? But my point being is a lot of times they prioritize looking for thinness in a spouse. They want thinness. And there was a man who posted on my channel a while ago where he says, well, he said it basically he hates when larger people blame their weight on genetics when I guess when he rejects them, right? And they say, "Oh, well, you can't judge me for my weight because it's my genetics. That's why I can't lose it." He said in his rebuttal, "Well, I don't want to pass down your bad genes to my children." So even when it comes to marriage and dating and all that stuff, you're considered more important in the dating pool because whether or not you agree with it, this is what people are taking into consideration, right? So you're going to be more important. You're going to get more attention. You're going to get more hate. You're going to get more backlash. And the best thing that you can do is assess for your mental, emotional, and physical safety and act accordingly. And then from there, just make sure you maintain your logical thinking and don't get too emotional and assess. Just create a pros and cons list, old school. Left side pros, right side cons. And if you feel like the pros outweigh the cons, then proceed forward. And if you feel like the cons outweigh the pros, then exit the situation in a swift, efficient, and safe manner. Okay? So that's my little 2 cents about how being pretty and thin makes you more important. And some things to keep in mind as you navigate society as a pretty and thin person. Let me know if you have anything to add below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, pretties!